Okay, so Ty Robinson ain't just impressing us in OTAs. You gotta hear what Jalen Carter said about him. Meanwhile, Nolan Smith gives us an injury update, plus reveals how he's taking his game to the next level. So much to break down, including another great day at OTAs for Jalen Hurts, the latest on the safety and cornerback battles, and why Jeremiah Trotter Jr. will be starting for the Eagles week 1. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with our Philadelphia Eagles, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So week 2 of OTAs are taking place as the Eagles have had multiple practices already, but only 2 open to the media, 1 indoors and 1 outdoors. The Eagles have been kind enough to share some great clips on their social media page, but today we're going to dive deep into 7-on-7 and 11-on-11s that were reported by the beat writers who were in attendance. We also got to hear from a couple players at the press conference, plus a player or two behind the scenes as they spoke with an NBC reporter and gave us some good information, like what Jalen Carter had to say about the new rookie Ty Robinson.
That boy fire. I ain't gonna lie, he moving good. He a big boy. I seen his highlights before he came, knew what they was talking about, and he here and he working. And I think he gonna have a big impact this season.
It sounds to me like Jalen Carter is extremely impressed with Ty Robinson. He could have straight up said the young man's doing good, doing what he needs to do. But he said he's fire. He could tell he's a big body up front, moving well, but most importantly, going to be an impact early for the Eagles. So you got one impact player talking about the impact from a young rookie at the same position. That don't go overlooked. They also asked him about having a Super Bowl championship, being one of the best D tackles in the game. How has your life changed?
This all smooth. All right, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the best at what I do, and I try to be the best. I'm not there yet. Still got a lot of people in front of me who's obviously been in the league a couple years, got years of experience on me, and I'm just keep grinding every day, and not just me by myself working on specific things to get better. Just being around the team, having the guys support me, also made me be one of the best in the league.
Hungry and humble. That's not just a Georgia thing. That is a Philadelphia Eagle thing as well. As for his running mate, Nolan Smith, he was asked about the rehab, and we got great news.
Oh, the rehab's good. Rehab's good. I'm in a great spot. I feel great. I'm still using my arm, still pressing. Hopefully, I'll be striking next week. Everything falling in line, and everything happened for a reason. I'm coming off this. If I wasn't in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't tow my tricep. So I take that as a blessing. Football gods got a funny way of I always beg to go to the Super Bowl and what I do to get there, and obviously I told mine. So
I know. There are still people out there who have questions about Nolan Smith's ability to play a whole season. He played 21 games and got hurt in the 21st game. I don't think you can count on that to happen all the time. They asked him how he treated the offseason, especially after coming off a good year and a Super Bowl win.
man, feed the fire and be hungry. Feed the fire and be hungry. And I always say, like, man, Coach Smart used to say, all right, last year's last year. Turn the page. Like, I know everybody cited for the rings and all of that. I've been turned the page, especially after the parade. I got back to doing what I was doing because I knew I had to rehab and got to be stronger. I said last year, I want to be bulletproof. And that's what I going through every year, like trying to be bulletproof, build my armor into going into this year.
He gonna be sturdy in 2025. But my favorite question that he answered was, what's next in his game?
Man, the next step in my game is personally just be that pass rusher. Be that pass rusher and keep rushing, but also ultimately be the ultimate player. I talked to Coach Vic and he always told me, play the game the right way. And that's what I always tell myself, play the game the right way, because I got to crush the run in order to rush the passer. So when you play the game the right way, don't chase sacks and don't do none of that, be a football player truly, everything else will take care of itself.
Big year incoming for Nolan Smith. If you remember, I guaranteed he would have over 6 sacks in 2024. He had 6.5 in the regular season, but 4 in the postseason. This year, I'm guaranteeing over 10. As for the question about what did he learn and how much did he learn last year, including what he got from BG, this almost made me cry.
Man, I say it was just a learning year. And truly, testament to Brandon Graham. And you about to make me cry up here just because BG gave me so much from just the outside world putting so much pressure on me. You a first round pick, you need to do this, you need to do that. And BG just told me, be you. And to this point, that's what I got on my mirror and my goals, be you. Like nobody can make you be anything other than yourself. And long as you work and put in that dedication and that effort every day, and that's why I work so hard, just because I just want to be me. And it's not for me, it's for B. It's for B when, he was doubted when he first got here, and so was I. And he just kept pushing me and he leaned into me. As we say in the South, he just poured in my glass just a little bit more. He just kept pouring in my glass and he believed in me. And I tell him, I'm not gonna stop. My first sack dance, I already got it in my head.
Week 1 versus the Cowboys, we going to see Brandon Graham's celebration, but the jersey won't say 55, it will say number 3. Moving on to Tuesday practice, Jahad Campbell was out there with a helmet on. Fangio did say he did drills on the side, but mainly he watched the linebackers and edge rushers do their drills. Fangio did give an update on him, said he probably won't practice until August. They also asked about Nakobe Dean, and he just said he's going to be out for a while. All the linebacker stuff is TBD, to be determined. As for the second OTA open to the media, Jalen Hurts update. The reigning Super Bowl MVP continues to look sharp. The ball has barely hit the ground during his 2 media-attended OTA practices. The vast majority of his pass attempts have been short throws where the ball is coming out quick, but Hurts notably pushed the ball downfield to Dallas Goedert, who was able to make an over-the-shoulder catch in stride, with Zach Bond trailing close behind for a big gain down the left sideline. That was the play of the day. I do want to note there was no Devontae Smith at this OTA, but don't worry, he's been at a lot of OTAs. Still, I love hearing that Jalen Hurts, our Super Bowl MVP quarterback, in his 2 open practices to the media, is starting exactly where he left off in Super Bowl 59. Dotting up the defense. I know some people are going to be thinking our defense ain't good. Our defense was getting dotted up last year too. Fangio adjusts and then he fixes it throughout the season. Or maybe Jalen Hurts is just that good when he throws the ball. Staying with the QB position, Tanner McKee has looked pretty good at QB2. It's been nice to see him get extended reps after he barely got practice action as quarterback 3 over the past 2 years. McKee's standout play was a strike over the middle to Danny Gray. He continued to say that Kyle McCord got some reps as QB3, and so did DTR at QB3, but again, Tanner McKee is showing why he deserves to be QB2 in the Eagles offense, like he did last year in his 1 start with the New York Giants, where he sliced and diced up their starting defense with Jahan Dotson and Dallas Goedert as his 2 best wide receivers. Switching over to the secondary, the first team defense in 11-on-11 out of the nickel was Quinyon Mitchell as the left cornerback, Kelee Ringo as the right cornerback, Cooper DeJean in the slot, and the safeties were Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown. Staying with the safeties, although Sidney Brown got most of the first team reps, we did see Andrew Makumba with Reed Blankenship. We also saw Andre Sam with Reed Blankenship as well. As for the competition between Kelee Ringo and Addore Jackson, it continues. Indoor session, Addore Jackson went first, then Kelee Ringo. Outdoor session, Kelee Ringo goes first, then Addore Jackson, but they both got first team reps. And of course, when the Eagles go base, it was Cooper DeJean, right cornerback, Quinyon Mitchell, left cornerback, and again, the safeties were Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown. So on Tuesday, Sidney Brown did get some love as the safety who was on the field the most next to Reed Blankenship. But again, we're not even at training camp. It is way too early, but I do like to note these things to see who went up and down and who eventually earns the spot. Again, if you missed my video yesterday, we talked about Fangio saying that Cooper DeJean in base not only playing corner, but also safety. It depends. I think that's just Fangio trying to keep Cooper DeJean on the field as much as possible. He did say, when we're in nickel, he'll be in a nickel. I think the biggest reason he's leaving it open to safety or corner is because he wants to get to training camp and see what group is struggling, outside corner opposite of Quinyon or safety outside of Reed Blankenship. That will determine where he puts Cooper DeJean in base. But I trust Fangio, so we're going to see what happens. While we're talking about the corner position, Kelee Ringo was asked about the opportunity to start.
Um, uh, as you said, it's a big opportunity, of course, and from safety positions as well. There's competition everywhere, and honestly, I feel like it just brings out the best of all of us, and just as a team, and always feeling to get better and just continue to grow as a whole. So I definitely say it's a big opportunity for everybody and myself as well.
Addore Jackson was also asked the same question about starting, but the words were a little different. They asked if the coaching staff told him he has to compete for a job.
I feel like I'm always in competition regardless if I was starting or if I wasn't starting. You know, it's always a competition. Somebody's always trying to take his spot regardless, even if it wasn't considered like, fighting for a position. The guy that's behind me still trying to take my spot regardless. So if they are doing a good job and I'm not performing, it doesn't do me no justice. So at the end of the day, I'm always competing and working like it's a competition if somebody's trying to take my spot.
They're both approaching the situation the right way, which you got to respect, but this is big for both of them. Kelee Ringo going into year 3, he got to get on the field. And Addore Jackson fell off with the Giants. He got to get his career going back the right way, which we did see one year in James Bradbury after leaving the Giants, coming to Eagles. Winning culture does do something, but it's going to be an interesting battle. Flipping it over to the linebacker position, of course, Zack Baun is going to be the guy on the field all the time. Fangio even said whatever linebacker is next to him, we'll put him where he is best suited because Zack Baun can do it all at this point. That being said, with the injury to Nakobe Dean and first-round draft pick Jahad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has been getting all these opportunities. He did finish the season strong against the Giants. Yesterday, he was asked about the opportunity due to the injuries and how it's helping him.
Yeah, definitely considering the circumstances, you don't want to see your guys injured and whatnot. But, with that happening, my reps have gone up. I'm just, blessed to be able to have that opportunity to be able to continue to gain the trust of my coaches and go out there and just try to continue to get better and continue to improve on my game.
I love the fact that he said you never want to see your guys hurt, but it is good for his game. It is good for his development to get the majority of the snaps, OTAs, and training camp until Jahad Campbell comes back and then Nakobe Dean comes back. You never know. It could take longer than what we all think, and or somebody can come back and re-injure something. I don't want to jinx anything, knock on fake wood, but a strong linebacker room is key to Fangio's defense. We saw it last year, so I'm glad it's been Jeremiah Trotter next to Zack Baun for the majority of camp. But we did see a little bit of Smile Munden, and I'm curious to him having a role if the injuries for the two last longer or linger on a little bit. Finishing up with Jordan Davis, as we talked about yesterday, Fangio gave him a bunch of praises. He said he finished the season strong last year, and it's rolling over to this year. Fangio decided to skip the question on why he think he got better in the second half of the season, but Jordan Davis let us know in a side interview. Brandon Lee Gouton tweeted yesterday after my video, Jordan Davis says he fell in love with the Peloton in the second half of the season, and that helped him get in better shape. Davis said his word for 2025 is discipline. I honestly think we're going to get the best version of Jordan Davis, although he's been a great player for the Eagles, especially against the run. You add him looking like this with Jalen Carter, who never comes off the field, Ty Robinson, who's getting praise, and we can't forget the guy who stepped up last year, Moro Ajomo. I think the D tackle room might even be better than last year. I know it's crazy, but we will wait and see. And I like the young pass rushers, Azeez, Jalix, Nolan. Man, I can't wait to see this D-line eat in 2025. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I absolutely love hearing from you. If you rock with the channel, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the video. Drop the muscle emoji if you got anything to say. I'll catch you on next one. We out.